I think we are live on the YouTubes. All right, I'm just waiting for this to finish loading so I can get the link. Here we go. YouTube. All right, waiting for this to finish loading so I can get the link. Here we go. All right, I am posting in. Somebody's got my voice going there. All right, I am posting in.
Maybe it's me. Maybe me.
Somebody's got my voice going there.
I think it's you.
Maybe it's me. Maybe me.
I think it's you.
I'm gonna mute myself and make sure it's not me.
Yeah, I think it was you.
All the links are dropped now, Lisa. Yeah.
Just for them. Okay.
Lisa, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Okay, I'm unmuting myself, but I have to mute YouTube. That was my problem.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, now I think this should work without that feedback. Sorry, guys. All right, so do you guys see all the links there?
I see the links, but I'm not able to get the questions. I'm not able to access it.
You have to open it in YouTube.
That's what I'm trying to do, but it's doing something funny here. I'll do you see people logging on? Because I don't see anybody.
I am. Oops, kill my volume here. I've got. It says 4 people. 3 of them are us.
Lisa, do you think you can drop the link onto the chat as well? Because I'm not able to. I'm not able to open things on Google Drive and thing. I'm having trouble with that.
Oh, I see Vanessa and I see Katrina.
Hello.
I guess my link dropping worked.
They're all there. They're expecting us to be late. That's what it is.
I know. We've set the bar high.
Cool. Okay.
All right. So we've got a few peeps looking in.
Do you guys have a good week this week so far?
So far, it's only Tuesday.
We've had terrible, terrible rain. All of a sudden, summer is gone.
Oh, no. It's still like 90 something here.
Oh, wow.
Yay, and Shannon made it too.
Nice. So I want to start off with really quick because I know I was gone for the very first half of the boot camp and I wasn't in the live and I wasn't able to get in. And the reason is because I was doing this whole move to the other side of the world. I live in Germany now, and that was one of the big things that kept me busy. And apart from work, which I had 2 other jobs, so I just want to apologize. And from now on, I'm going to be in this live. Yeah, I just wanted to start off with that and to apologize to you coaches and the boot campers for not being there from the beginning. But from now on, I'm going to be here and helping the coaches and you guys as well.
Well, we're glad to have you back.
You were there in spirit, Malcolm. You were there in spirit. We felt, we knew you were there. You were there for everyone. If you had any questions, you were always there. So cool. All right then.
So guys, drop your questions if you've got some in the chat. And in case you don't know, in order to see the chat that's in this YouTube, you have to open this video in YouTube. Just opening it on Facebook, you're not going to be able to see the questions that people are answering. So when you click on the link, then you're going to click on opening YouTube, and then you'll be able to see the chat, the live chat, and you can ask us questions and all.
And I also wanted to mention that every week we drop the thread for you to ask us questions as well, because that way we can go away if there's anything that we need to maybe look into, and go away and come back to you with a more informed answer. So use that opportunity as well to, if you have certain questions that, would need a little bit more research behind it. So, yeah, I think we have 1 question from 2 the week before, but other than that, it's a clear sheet there on all levels.
Do you have it in front of you to read to Malcolm? I can't. I've got too many things open right now. I can't open that too.
I can open it.
I think it's on Google. I put it on Google Sheets for us to have compiled it. But let me see. It was from Susan. It was a question about, let me find it. Give me 2 seconds and let me find it. Sorry. I did have it prepared for me, but I've had to change laptops.
So while Farzana is looking for that, we are into week 4. Don't get complacent in week 4. This is like hump week, or you have happy hump day on Wednesdays. This is hump week. We're going to be hitting the middle of boot camp at the end of this week. So keep up with everything that you have been doing to this point, your macros, your training, your electrolytes. Don't get lazy, don't get complacent, and do check in with your coaches, because we like to hear what's going on, good, bad, or indifferent. Don't think, I got this, we're good. Keep checking in, make it part of your regular habit, and you will see the success that so many boot campers do see. Trisha's got a question. Are you ready for Zana, or do you want me to go to Trisha?
No, I'm still looking, so go for Trisha's question while I look for this.
So Trisha is asking, so my knee is still not right. It's on and off restricted. Yesterday it felt great. Today I can barely bend or straighten it. I've been doing my program as usual, not sure if I should let it be. So Malcolm, what's your take on working through injuries?
Yeah, so first I would ask, what's wrong with the knee? I might have missed that from the previous live, sorry. If you can give me a little bit more specific detail about that, then we can move on from there. Now, I also suggest if you're working out through pain, stop working out. There's no need for you to work out through pain. There's a difference between, I guess you could say, pain, real pain, and then when people say, hey, lift until it hurts. And that's not how I would approach this. If it's an injury and it hurts, it really hurts, there's a lot of pain, don't stress it too much. Don't even work around it. You said today I can barely bend or strain it. Yeah, so I would really like to know what's going on, that we can help you a little bit better. And what's your injury? So give me a little bit more detail and I can maybe figure it out. And then I would also mention it to SAG, that way we can see what we can do.
Cool. I've got the question up. This was from Susan. I have a question about muscles. aesthetically speaking. I feel like I look a lot stronger than I am. I know part of it is body fat percentages. Are some of us a little bit more genetically blessed or cursed, depending on goals, on muscle appearance? Did you hear that, Malcolm?
Yes.
It was basically are people more genetically blessed or cursed with how with their muscles, basically.
So there's this thing a lot that goes around in bodybuilding, you know, genetics, and that's the reason why they're like super big or they don't have to work as much. And that's not how I would really suggest you look at it. Hard work always beats genetics. Always, always, always. And so I suggest you do the hard work, keep on training. Don't worry about, you know, all this genetics, the genetic topic. If you're strong and building strength and strength is going up, that means that your muscles are getting super strong and it's quality muscle, you know? Now, in order to be defined and toned up, again, that's a dieting, you know? But yeah, just strength is quality muscle being built, and the stronger you are, the stronger the muscle is. There's really no genetics that go into this, and I would really suggest that not to focus on genetics.
I mean, there are a couple of outliers who are just blessed, aren't they? But but overall, it's hard work that sort of rules the day. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. That's it for our questions, pre-asked questions, and there's nothing at the moment on the chat. Right. Shall we talk about? Sorry, Malcolm, were you going to say something?
Oh, I can see the Trisha answer. I didn't do anything. I crouched down, got up, and it was locked. I'm not in pain. It feels restricted. Okay, so there's really no injury going on, and it might have been like a sudden movement that you made that made it, you know, feel like it was locked up. But if you're still walking and doing, you know, normal movements, keep on doing those. That way it gets better. It just feels restricted. So whenever you're on your, you know, walking around, I suggest you get up and like do this movement on your knee, on your leg, see if that helps. And I suggest you keep on doing that. That way it doesn't feel as locked as you mentioned.
Would there, and I don't know the answer to this, would there be any benefit to ice? And I know not necessarily heat or one or the other, or.
So when we do a lot of ice, it's mostly related to swelling. I can't fully explain or bend it. Ooh.
I mean, I've seen Trisha mention this previously in the sort of the group, and it's been a little while. It's not a very recent thing. Am I right, Trisha? It's not a recent thing. So I think if it was like a very new thing, then possibly you might be doing ice on it, because it's. But if it's something that's a prolonged sort of issue, then would you do ice on it, Malcolm, or no? About a week.
Like I said, you could try, but I really don't suggest it. I would only suggest ice if there is swelling going on around the area. If there is swelling going on, then yes. But when it comes to like muscle and you put ice, you're really making the muscle contract itself and it stays like that. So in those cases, we would add warmth so the muscle loosens up and relaxes. So, so if it's going on, it's been a reoccurring thing and it's been for a long time. The best thing I could do right now is get it checked and see what's going on and keep us updated. It's kind of hard to tell what's really going on since we can't physically see it. But if you get it checked and give us the details that the doctor said, we can find a solution or work around it. Sorry. That way we can see what's going on.
Okay. Well, the ideal thing is to go see the doctor, really, isn't it? Because it's been a week. So, yeah. Cool. Right. So I can't see the questions. And if you guys see the question.
Okay, yep. Shannon's got one. She asks, can we talk about metabolism? People talk about speeding up their metabolism or getting older and they hit a certain age and their metabolism slows down. So can we or can we not manipulate our metabolism? Excuse me. So a few things play into metabolism. Probably one of the biggest things that you can do to affect your metabolism is to change your body composition. Because as you get leaner, your metabolism will match your body composition. So people incorrectly say, oh, my metabolism's slowing down, as if that's a bad thing when you're getting leaner. But it's doing that in response to you getting leaner, because you don't need to work as hard to burn your body fat or burn for energy as you did when you were a lot heavier. So as your metabolism slows down, that's because you are getting leaner and your body doesn't have to think of it like your body doesn't have to work as hard to exert energy that it did have to exert when you were possibly heavier. That's one of the biggest factors with metabolism and manipulating it. Age and things like that, you know, they say age is just a number, but we have a ton of older, and I'm including myself in that group, people who would technically be in that, oh, my metabolism is slowing down. And, you know, we're bucking the system because we are recompositioning our bodies and we are bringing our metabolism to match. We can also raise our metabolism by doing other things, by eating right, by exercising, things like that. But it's more body composition than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, there's a common fallacy. People say, I broke my metabolism
by dieting.
Yeah, you know, you don't break it. Yeah, but there are certain sort of medical conditions sometimes that can affect it, like hypothyroidism, that makes, or PCOS, those kind of situations can make it a little bit more complicated. But generally, what you said, Lisa, is spot on. You know,
and you're not going to be able to manipulate it if you have hypothyroid or anything like that, aside from increasing your diet or improving your diet or going on medications. It's not like just because you turn 40 that everything's downhill.
Yeah. Or you dieted and you know,
right. Yeah. You didn't
yo-yo diet. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Katrina says, could Trisha get I can't even read that. Synovic
Synovis one shot. It's something she'd have to see her doctor about.
Presume that's like a steroid kind of a shot?
Or a cortisone, maybe something like that. Yeah. But it's for a doctor to decide depending on what the injury is.
Yep.
Okay. Well.
And Susan figured it out. And Susan, we answered your question earlier in the video if you didn't get to see it.
You got to rewatch it now, Susan. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are very quiet. There's 7 people watching. Is that 3 of us plus 4 others?
So. I don't know how to count. It's YouTube numbers. Who knows?
Cool. Well, shall we talk about kind of things that we see cropping up on our reviews this week that I've seen over and over again? One thing that I see continuously is people are being fantastically adherent for, say, 4 or 5 days of the week. And then comes the weekend or something and bam, they have a meal and then it spirals the whole weekend. And what I've been telling people is, one, yes, some people, you will fall down. We all do. But it's how quickly you get back up. You don't let that one meal that you've had ruin the whole weekend or run on to 3 or 4 days, because it's much easier to come back from a going over your calories by 500 calories than by 2,000. So, so yeah, it's sort of like, don't let one sort of knock you for days and days. Get back up. Get back at the very next meal. Get back up, because all the work that you've done by being really good in adhering for the whole week, you probably just undone in that weekend. But yeah, that's something I've seen. Maybe it's a mid-camp question, that's mid-camp sort of thing that's been happening. But that's appeared quite a lot. What about you, Lisa? Have you seen some things that are cropping up?
Along the same lines of that is when you have to miss training. It doesn't mean you throw the whole week away. You know, if you miss a day, or if your schedule gets upended or something and you're not able to get to the gym, you know, don't be all F it and I'll pick it up on Monday again. Tomorrow's another day. Start each day fresh when it comes to training. If you weren't able to train today or yesterday, don't wait till next week to pick up on your week. Start immediately again. Don't lose that time. You know, boot camp is only 8 weeks long. And when it comes to macros and training, you don't want to lose that time, and pick it up as soon as you can. Don't say I'll pick it up on Monday again. And same thing on the rest days, like Saturday, Sunday, if those are your active rest days. You know, if you plan on going for a long walk in the morning and it doesn't happen, go for your long walk in the evening. Make it happen. Do the best you can to get it in. And if you can't, get it in the next day. Don't wait for the next week to start over.
Yep. I have something to add. So we've already gone through 4 weeks, and Saturday comes and there goes that, that spiraling down, but then you say, oh, whatever, I'll just start on Monday. So Saturday's lunch, breakfast, dinner, snacks, and then becomes Saturday, and then it multiplies to Sunday, and then you start on Monday again. All that hard work that you already done these 4 weeks are just being thrown in those just 2 days, just for that weekend. It's like you're taking 3 steps forward, but then you're taking 2 steps back. So you're back on step 1. And that's what we really don't want you guys to be at. Yes, it's not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. We're never perfect. Macros are not 100%. But the thing you can actually do is control that and be like, okay, well, dang it, I had that, I don't know, cookie, whatever. Start all over again tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Don't dwell in the past. Don't dwell on that one cookie that you had, Just jump back into the plan and stick to the plan.
Yeah. I think there is an element of self-sabotage that sometimes happens, that it's almost like you get really close to a goal and then something in your brain thinks, well, maybe I don't deserve this or something. And you do things to almost sabotage yourself. And you got to look back and say, well, why do I think this? Why? I mean, it's a lot of self-reflection that happens during boot camp as well, that understand, your reasonings for doing things. Because sometimes when we know our whys, we can then sort of move forward and say, try to break that cycle as well. Because it's almost like you don't deserve this. And that's sad if somewhere in your psyche that's happening. But
the word deserve is I'm not a fan of that word, because it can go 2 ways. You can think you do deserve something and you treat yourself, or you can think you don't deserve something and you then restrict something that you shouldn't restrict. Deserve is more of a reward type word, and we're trying to instill in you habits that are going to get you on the long run, that you're forming for a lifetime. So there isn't a reward at the end of this. Your reward is your health. So don't think that you do or don't deserve anything. You are doing this for you. That is the reward, a healthier you. And by sabotaging yourself, like Farzana said, whether you think it's because you don't deserve something or because you were so great that you do deserve it, make it a lifestyle, make it this is what I am doing. There is no reward at the end. There's nothing to deserve or not deserve. I don't like that word. Can you tell?
Well, my sort of angle on that was not in terms of I deserve a cookie,
right?
But I deserve to be happy.
Yeah.
I deserve to be healthy. That's the reward, really. You know?
Yeah, it's your whole world.
Yeah.
It's not just a single weekend or a single meal or a single anything. It's
yeah.
You know, yeah.
And as sort of Louise kind of says it all the time, it's your health pension. It's what you're working towards. I want to be, when I'm 80 years old, be able to get out of that chair and not have somebody, you know, help me out. That's my
goal. I'll be squatting when I'm 80.
I'm going to be squatting like that old gentleman who keeps on sort of threatening me with his sort of amorous ways. You know, he's in there squatting. He's 80 years old. I mean, he's really impressive. He's in there squatting and he's doing leg presses and all kinds of stuff. But he has warned me that if he was 30 years younger, I'd be in trouble. So, you know, but, you know, I'm going to be that old gentleman in the gym.
Well, hopefully you'll be a woman in the gym.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Yeah, a lot can happen between now and then, right? Yeah. And Shannon even just said she has issues when she gets close to breaking that 130. Her brain can't comprehend it, and then, you know, she just kind of works against herself there. So yeah, just make it a this is your path. This is what you're set to do, and 130 is just a number. Don't make it a goal necessarily if it's going to derail you.
Yeah,
it's just, it is what it is. Just keep going.
Yeah. Because I see this over and over again. People get so close and it's almost like they get a bit scared because they work in a way so hard to get this. And they're like, what do I do when I get there? But it's not like get there. That's not the finish point. That's just a point. And then you know, move forward. But yeah, cool. Right. Do you guys see anything else? Am I missing anything? Because I'm looking at it on my phone. So that's what can't see.
No one else is posting anything.
I want to talk about electrolytes. Some of you guys might be misunderstanding the whole electrolyte concept. Now, and this is something that I really try to dig deep on, is most of your electrolytes, especially magnesium and potassium, most of them, if not all, if you're consuming enough, will come from green leafy vegetables. Most of them. If not met, then you can supplement, you know. But like I said, most of them will come from the green leafy vegetables. Now, sodium you can actually get, you know, from other sources, but again, it's a topic that I see a lot, that a lot of people don't understand, and it's just something that needs to be cleared on. Now, try to hit those suggested numbers first. From there on, your body will adapt, and you might need a bit more, but it all depends on how your body reacts to it. So first, I really suggest hit those target numbers that we've been giving to you guys. All right. It's like macros. It will never be 100%, but try to get, you know, a little bit above those numbers. That way you can see or close to those numbers. That way you can see how your body adapts, and try to get those electrolytes down.
And it's a fine balance somewhere, isn't it, Malcolm? Because, and we're also we say that we're not snowflake, but we're kind of snowflake-ish, because what works for me might not work for you. And it's like a trial and error. And then us women, we have our, you know, special time of the month kind of thing, and that affects it as well. And, you know, where we are in terms of humidity and heat and those kinds of, it's all fine balancing. But yeah, so, but basically, as you say, all from leafy greens. A lot of it comes from leafy greens, and then supplement on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any So there are other supplements that you would recommend on top of it, like omegas and vitamin D? Is there anything else that you guys would suggest, you know, on top?
So now that I'm living in Germany, today was actually really hot, but I know that in the winter it's going to be a little bit, you know, down. So I will, a little bit, mostly cloudy and rainy. So I will supplement vitamin D. I haven't found one here, so I'm sure trying to get used to everything here. But like I said, most of your micros, will come from food. So for example, if I am, you know, and I try to mix it up, you know, I try to make it easy for me, but at the same time enjoyable. So for example, I'll give you a clear example. This week I'll consume chicken with broccoli. Next week I consume fish, and that's where omega-3 will come in. Fish and asparagus. And then I'll do beef with spinach. You know, that omega-3 that I consume in that week 2 will be, I wouldn't have to supplement. You know what I mean? Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So so for me, supplementing is really, really the last thing I really look for. You know, I try to get all of my macros and macros from food, from whole foods. And then from there on, if I see that I'm lacking on something and if the situation or my environment, for example, vitamin D that I'm going to be lacking, I know in December, I'll introduce that supplementation in because I will not get it compared to if I was back in Georgia, that it's super hot. But that's when I will supplement. And you just have to look at when the specific time and when to actually do it. But for supplements, you know, supplement brands, I would really just go with, and I usually, I'll have to see if I can find them here, but when I was in the States, the ones that we suggest in the manual are the ones I actually use.
I think on top of the food, the only thing that we actually do tell you to take every day is the creatine, isn't it?
Correct.
That's the only other, I mean, it's like a supplement, yes. So that's the daily thing. So, and that's every single day, regardless whether you train or not. And that's sometimes, that's one of the mistakes I see some people make, that they think it's only on training days, but it's every day. It has a turnover of roughly 16 to 20 hours, I think. So if you just take it any time during the day, generally I take it the same time every day, so I remember to take it. I normally put it in my pre-workout on the days that I train, and then my morning coffee on the days I don't train. But yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that creatine is, oh, sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
No, if you're still talking about electrolytes, Shannon has a question when we're done with this topic.
Okay, cool. So a lot of people think that creatine, you know, creatine is another way to create energy, which is called ATP. And that's what it really is. It's just energy. So you will need that energy. And that's something that we really, really suggest you guys take.
Okay, so Shannon has a question. She says, my carbs are higher this camp and I'm having huge swings on the scale, like more than usual. Is it normal with a higher carb intake? The first thing I would say is your carb intake steady? You know, if you are eating the same foods for 4, 5, 6 days, 7 days, you should be pretty stable, but weight loss isn't linear. You hear us say that all the time. There will be ups and downs as you go because there are other hormonal issues that happen during the month as well. But just apples to apples, horrible analogy because that's not keto, but all things being equal, if you are eating just additional carbs because of your macros and they're coming from whole foods, that wouldn't necessarily cause huge swings on the scale because you wouldn't be retaining any more or less water from day to day. Now, if one day you're having 8 grams of carbs and the next day you're having 35 grams of carbs, that may cause a swing because you will retain more water, possibly from the increase in carbs. But that correlates with or I should say the swing on the scale would correlate with the amount of carbs. So if you keep things kind of steady, just increasing carbs in general for your macros isn't going to cause the huge swings.
I mean, how much are you putting into your work as well, your workouts? Because sometimes, you know, I mean, these are full body workouts we're doing 5 days a week.
That's true.
Your body is retaining. I mean, give you an example with me, I was doing some training as a British weightlifting to become an instructor, and I was training over the weekend, and I wasn't eating like an asshole, as you know, we know the terminology. And Monday morning I was 7 pounds heavier. So that's because my body it was retaining water. Now I'm, as we call it here, it's late enough to say this, I think, pissing like a fountain. Yeah. That's what's happening. It's you know, Tuesday going on Wednesday, but you know, that's what happens. So when you train really hard, your muscles need recovery, and water is rushing in to sort of you know, help with the repair. So it could be that, Shannon.
Yeah, I would definitely lean towards training or hormones before looking, just because you increase carbs by 10 or 20 grams on a regular basis, especially since you said you're eating pretty much the same thing. I know for me, this is week 4. The squats yesterday, my quads are sore. I wasn't sore week 1, 2, and 3. All of a sudden I'm sore on week 4 because it was the 5x4 on the squats or whatever. So guess what's inflamed today? And you know, that coupled with hormones is absolutely can cause, you know, little bits of fluctuation here and there.
As long as, Shannon, you're not eating like an asshole, right? Which I'm sure you're not, but you know, we have to caveat that as well.
And she says the weight swings are as much as 5 pounds. Yeah. Okay. That could definitely be inflammation from training and hormones. I'll share this with y'all. Some of you may know I'm on hormone replacement therapy for like 7 or whatever years now, and I've just changed my hormone replacement therapy dosage to a little more estrogen, a little bit less progesterone, and I'm up 4 pounds. It's hormones, you know. It's not fat, unless you went on a bender about, you know, eating way over your calorie intake and way over your macros. It's water and it will go away.
Yeah. It's the joys of being a woman sometimes as well, isn't it? We're so blessed.
Yay. Yeah. Yeah. And Shannon said she didn't think about the fact that she's been sore all camp.
Yeah.
You're working hard in the gym. It's inflammation, it's water, and some days, like Tuesday today, it was a pull day. It's probably not as strenuous on your body as, you know, the squat or the deadlift day or even the bench day. So those water fluctuations will happen from the training.
Yeah. I'm thinking, even being sore doesn't mean you haven't trained hard.
No. Yeah.
You know, that, you know, but it, you know, kind of, sometimes we equate those two things.
But it's full body. We are doing full body. So
yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Zach. Although I'm loving it, actually. I mean, I think last week, I think I posted on how to, if you're short of time, and sort of if you're really short of time, and you can superset. And this program lends itself to supersetting because it's upper, lower. So if you are, you know, ideally, the best thing is to follow it as is, put out, you know, in the program. But if you are running a bit of shorter time, you can double them up. So yeah, cool.
Karina asks, she has been dealing with the same issue of inflammation the entire summer. Is that normal also? Could summer heat affect water retention? Yeah. Ask anybody down here in the South. Malcolm may not have to worry about that so much in Germany anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, more humid, not even just heat, but humidity.
Yeah, if you want humidity, go to Georgia right now. That thing is blazing humid.
Yeah. So then, what electrolytes? Would you say look at your electrolytes, because you know that
if you're consuming a lot more, then obviously you're gonna have a lot more sodium. Then you're gonna have a lot more water retention.
Yeah.
And again, it's just a number on the scale. You know, detach your brain from putting value to that number, because if you know it's not fat, because you know you're not cheating and you know you're not eating over your macros, and it is just water retention, so what? It's just a number on the scale, and it's getting you still to your goal of, you know, changing your body composition. It's not all about the scale. Remember the pebbles in the balloon thing that I have up there? It's about that composition change, not the weight so much.
Yeah. But you got to be true to yourself and ask yourself, is it just this, or how? And when we talk about adherence to the macros, Lisa, and maybe we need to go over this over again. What is our window of adherence?
Okay.
So good adherence.
So with the protein, it's okay to be up to 10 grams over protein, but you want to hit your number. Don't get under the protein. Your body needs that protein for all the training you're doing. Your carbs, you want to do your best to hit from whole foods to get all your micronutrients in, as well as feel full. Whether you cook the food or eat it raw, those carbs are very filling to your stomach. And then fat, we don't want you under 5 grams below what your target number is, and we don't want you over. So the fat has a very small window, and we want you getting within that 5 gram window for your fats, because that is your energy. So even if you have a lot of body fat to lose, you still want to hit that body fat macro that we give you, because things are optimized for you specifically, as well as the training that you're doing. So adhere to that.
I think you hit something on the head, Lisa, there, the fat for energy. Because often you see people who are on fat loss mode think, well, if I cut my fat even more, it'll be, you know, more is better. But actually, and then they feel fatigued and tired through the week. It's because you're getting energy from your fat. And by depriving your body of that, you you feel terrible. So, and hit those macros, because they've been designed for you and for your goals.
And it's easier for your body to break down the fat that you're eating than it is to pull the fat from your body from energy. So that's why we give you some fat. Nobody's going to have a zero fat diet, because your body is just not going to be as efficient in pulling out the energy from the body fat as it will be from the dietary fat. So you want to hit in that range for fats to keep you and the people around you sane.
Excellent. Right. Okay. There's no more questions I can't see on my phone. Can you guys see any questions on your phone? I mean, your thing?
Nothing. Nobody else. No. Karina just says she hates the scale. Don't put emotion into the scale. It's just a piece of electronics. It's just registering the pull of gravity on your body.
Yeah, until I started boot camp, the weighing machine had a huge emotional attachment to me. And I remember when we first had to weigh ourselves every day, and I thought, oh my God, this is like every day I'm going to torture myself by getting on the weighing machine. But actually, by weighing myself every day, I was able to see those little tiny nuances of what happens to my body, where, when I train hard, or if I'm tired, like when I used to do this Q&As when it was 3 o'clock in the morning for me, the next day my weight would jump up. So I was able to see patterns like this. So in a way, you can disconnect that emotional thing that number means, and actually gives you a lot of information about yourself. Sometimes it's like you might eat something that is boot camp compliant, but your body doesn't like it. So then again, that is more information you get, understand yourself. So if you can learn to use the information from the weighing machine, it's a great tool. detach that emotion from it, detach, you know, the worthiness, you know, when you see the number drop, you think, yay, or when the number goes up, you feel depressed, and, you know, detach.
And we have all those other metrics too, you know, that we have the measuring of the body parts, we have the strength in the gym, we have the body fat percent, how your clothes fit. Just, there's so many different metrics that we can follow to hyper focus on the scale. It will drive you crazy until you can really disconnect your brain from it and just kind of take it all in pictures. You know, flip your pictures upside down from 3 weeks ago, from 3 camps ago, from however long ago, and remind yourself that the change that you've had is substantial, even if you don't see it on the scale as much as you think you should.
Yeah. You mentioned something, Lisa, pictures. Now I have reviews coming in and people not taking their weekly photos. If it's maybe not for, I mean, it's good for us as coaches to see them so that we can, you know, assess how you're progressing. But without having anything, you have no record of your journey, and you will, you know, you will regret not having the starting photos. Mm-hmm. So take them, even if it's for yourself and for your eyes only, take those photos, because, you know, things are happening. And if you don't have those photos, you only have yourself to look in the mirror, and you get used to what you see in the mirror. So, you know, to take those photos as well. So those of my campers who are not taking photos, please do. Please take those photos.
Yeah, same goes to mine.
Yeah. We don't judge you by your photos. It's just another metric for us, you know. So
it's another tool that we use. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really do like the flipping of the pictures. I did it in the video, and this is my little one that I have here. If you flip it upside down, it takes the human out of it, and you can see things that you couldn't see when it was upright and looking at your body. When you flip it upside down, it's not your body anymore. It's just shapes, and you can really see differences. So that's another important reason to take the pictures, but take them with similar lighting. Make sure they're kind of clear. I have had some pictures that I'm like, can't really tell what I'm looking at, or, you know, they're really dark, or the one you took last week is in a different room with different lighting and a different outfit on, and it is harder to compare. So try and get as close to the same from week to week, lighting, outfit, the whole thing, and it'll be easier for you to see differences as well.
I mean, the kind of advice I give to some of my campers when I see this type of photos is that most of us take our photos on our phone. Probably not everybody, but most do. And most of our phones have cameras that you can turn around. So put it somewhere that is, you know, the distance from, and you can do yourself. You don't have to get your partner or your child or your dog to take that photo. You can do it. Stick it somewhere and put the timer on, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and go back, you know, and then stand for your camera. That way you can have the same angle, the same sort of distance every single time. And then it'll be a like for like photo as well. Because, you know, we have people like who their husband's taking the photo and they're standing up and they're looking down this way, and the next time is they're looking, you know, from the bottom. So you put it on somewhere that you can, you know, prop up against a desk or something, turn the camera around, set a timer on, and there you go.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that goes well with your form check videos. Do the exact same thing Prasanna just said, but just hit the record button.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's apps out there that you can crop your video. So if you hit the, you know, record and then you walk away and then you do your thing and then you walk back, you don't have to upload that entire video, especially since sometimes Facebook will like make it disappear because there's music in the background. But there's apps, I use Splice, that you can mute the video and you can crop the beginning and end out. So, you know, if you're technologically challenged, maybe that's something to add to your SMART goals, is to, you know, work on getting those videos in. And then if you're good with that, work on kind of, you can even edit them so that it's a little easier for you to even evaluate.
Yeah. And with those form check videos, even if you're not posting them, watch other people's ones. There's a lot of things that you can learn from other people's form check videos as well. So, and you guys, Malcolm, you and Zach, you're brilliant at, you know, picking up those little cues that you give us that, you know, changes our whole dynamics of our lifts. So use them. So cool. Well, I think, should we wrap it up? It just didn't seem like there's not much questions, and people can obviously, as you say, Lisa, watch back to what we chatted about today. Unless you guys have something more to say.
I don't think we have. I think just tomorrow, tomorrow's Wednesday if you're in the US, and don't forget to wear your pink. Malcolm, wear your pink, even in Germany.
I will. I do want to add something. Now that I'm in Germany, obviously from Georgia, I am 6 hours ahead. So depending where you at, it's going to be a lot more ahead. So you can actually think that I'm in the future. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so that being said, I do want to say that I might be late sometimes on the form checks. Right now, Zach and I am trying to get a schedule in. That way he can knock them down too, and I can knock them down as well. So just be patient if I'm not answering all of them, and he is for right now. That means that we're trying to work out our schedule, because again, I am 6 hours ahead from Atlanta and all the Eastern Coast. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say for right now. And to apologize for missing the first half, but it was just rough for you guys and the coaches.
I'm glad I have somebody on my end, Malcolm, you know,
yeah,
because often when these meetings or these things that happen, it's like me with my red light on. I mean, I think with this new time that we have, it works for, I think, a lot of the continents, because in Australia, it's early morning for them. So they can also kind of log on, and we're kind of like midnight-ish. And then for you guys, you're late afternoon, early evening. So yeah, so it's sort of, because we're a global family, aren't we? So,
yep, and I was getting ready to find that red light.
Sorry, Lisa, you were saying something?
I was just saying, it's pretty incredible when you think about it. I mean, we have people all over the globe doing this exact same thing. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, this is what I said when I was doing it early, when I first started. What was really amazing is I could wake up in the morning, and in Facebook, people in Australia and Thailand and have already done it. And say, oh my God, today's one was so hard. Have you try it? And I would do it. And then when I'm going to bed, people in the Americas are just about to start. And I'm like, oh, wait till you do today's one. So yeah, it's like a 24-hour, you know.
Yep.
You know, so, cool. Yeah. All right then. Shall we say good night then? Good afternoon, good night, and good morning.
Yes, all of the above. All right, good night, guys. I'm going to end this meeting, and it'll be on YouTube for you guys to check later on.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.